Hey everybody, Acid Rain 64 here, and welcome back to another part of Let's Play Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So in the last part, we went to Hyrule Castle and defeated Agnihim, and now we are in the Dark World, the land of awesome music and dark atmosphere, pretty much. So, first thing we want to do here is there's actually a heart piece we can get, but you have to jump down from a certain ledge, and I think it's to the right side of this palace. And this giant pyramid is known as the Pyramid of Power. Oh, I think it's right here. Yes. And it's, I mean, it's not so important at the moment. This is just where we start at this point. But this actually, believe it or not, this tower holds the last boss in it. Just we won't be coming here for a long time. So, whoop, I did not mean to do that. So one thing I did mention in the last part is that you can actually go back and forth between this world and the Dark World. And we'll be doing that quite a lot. Because I mean, we're not going to be spending the rest of the game here in this world. I mean, for the most part we will, but let's see. Palace of Darkness, that's actually where we want to head. Now, if we check our map, there's really only that one diamond over there that says 1, and that's kind of leading us as to where we need to go. And the dungeons of the Dark World are kind of interchangeable. Like, you don't have to go to this to the third dungeon right away. You can save that for the third dungeon or whatever. I mean, you can do some of the dungeons out of order here in the Dark World, but this first one you do have to do because most of the world is blocked off by these pegs, and the only way that you can get through those is with the item that you get in this first dungeon, which, by the way, is kind of a little difficult, I'm not gonna lie. And it just shows how big of a leap there is in difficulty from the light world to this world. But it's not too bad. Let's go ahead and come in here, and this is basically where Sarasala was in the light world. So let's see what this is. You're new here, aren't you? Did you come here looking for the power of gold? Well, you're too late. It will obey only the first person who touches it. The man who last claimed the power of gold wished for this world. It reflects his heart. Yes, I came here because of greed for the golden power. Look what happened to me. To restore the golden land, a person worthy of the golden power must defeat the man who created this place. Until that time, I am stuck in this bizarre shape. But what a mischievous thing to leave lying around, the power of gold. Triforce. Yes, that is what we are after. But we are not greedy. We are only after it to basically save the world, pretty much. But unfortunately, someone with an evil heart has already touched it. So they've kind of ruined things already. But we can still get it, and we can still make things right. So when we come here into the Dark World, you'll see there's all kinds of new and crazy enemies. We got Wiggly Goos, and we have Cyclops bombers, and there's just a whole bunch more to see. But one thing to remember is that this world is mainly just it's a twisted version of the light world, so a lot of the locations will be the same. Just they'll be very, very altered and different. But they'll still be in the same areas and pretty much the same thing. Like Kakariko Village is still here, but it's really, really bad now. I'm Kiki, the monkey. Kiki? I love rupees more than anything. Can you spare me 10 rupees? Sure. Kiki, good choice. I will accompany you for a while. Kiki. Yeah, so here we have Kiki the monkey. If you get hit when he's following you, he'll actually run away. And I was trying to think, there's something that he appears in another game or something, or he's referenced in another game. I just forget what it was. Kiki, if you give me 100 rupees, I will open the entrance for you. Kiki? What will you do? Ask him to open it. Fine. Kiki, good choice. Then I get 100 of your rupees. Kiki. Yeah, you do have to actually pay him those 100 rupees. So you need 110 rupees before you can actually even enter this dungeon, which really sucks. But oh well, we had the money, so we're good. Alright, so if this dungeon looks familiar, that's because it's basically a replica of the first dungeon of the game. Only now, it's a lot more different, and there's a lot more paths to take and all that. And honestly, I don't remember exactly how to get through this dungeon, but I will figure it out as I go along. And I hope you guys will stick with this video and just be patient with me. So let's see what this says up here. Link, can you hear me? It's me, Zelda. I'm locked in Turtle Rock on top of Death Mountain. I know you are doing your best, but please hurry. Okay, so we know at least Zelda's still safe, which is good. And she is on Turtle Rock, which is the final dungeon of the game. And hopefully when we actually get there, she'll still be there. And by final, I mean, okay, the Dark World is going to have 8 dungeons to go through, which is pretty crazy. But we're already at the first one, and the rest of them aren't too bad. Okay, those guys, you kind of have to maneuver around a little bit, because you have to basically guide them into your arrows sometimes, which is not a very easy thing to do, but it can be done. And now we have electrified jellyfish, but those are actually some of my favorite enemies, to be honest. But here we got the dungeon map, which actually helps, because this dungeon does have multiple floors and multiple ways to go. So that's good. Here we have a fairy fountain, which is also good. So let's go ahead and get us some fairies. And now enemies are going to start doing a lot more damage as well. So like in the light world, I think 90% of the enemies did 1 heart of damage. Now in the dark world, enemies are start doing enemies are going to start doing 2 or 3 damage, which could be pretty bad, but we're gonna make it. So let's see what we got over here. A key. So now we can go through that middle door, because we basically cleared off here, but we will need to come back here, because these things we'll be able to take care of with the dungeon item. So I think you got to take this right path first, and then go back and do the central door, and then the left door, and then you've got to come back here when you get the dungeon item, and then that pretty much leads to the boss. So if you can remember that, then you'll pretty much have this dungeon pretty much down. I don't think there's anything over here, but there's, you know, no harm in checking it out. And it is, but that, if we fall down that hole, we'll take some damage and just reappear back up here. It doesn't lead anywhere. Okay, so let's go back up to this floor. And there's actually 2 little portal things there, so that means that there must be another one in addition to that here somewhere. I think that's what that means. Okay, so we're gonna take this entrance. So pretty much, even though this dungeon does look a lot like the original, or the first dungeon in the game, it's not all that similar. I think it would have been cool for them to do like a twisted version of the actual dungeons, which they kind of did. I mean, this door goes absolutely nowhere, but there's a chest, which we do want. Okay. But I think that would have been a very interesting idea, because I would have wanted to do like a dark desert level. That would have been pretty awesome. But the desert has been transformed into a swamp, as we'll see pretty later in the game. And we'll actually get to that point where we'll be able to see all that later on. Okay, so that left way goes nowhere. That one will lead us to the dungeon boss, so we'll go there last. But pretty much everything we're going to be doing from now on goes through this middle entrance. And now there's tons of ways to go here. Now that up there, I believe, is the boss key. So we'll get to that when we can. But down here, we can actually fall down to a lower level and get us a key. Okay. So we don't need to fall down this way again. And one thing to remember about the dungeons in this game is that if you can remember where you've gone and, you know, what leads where, you can kind of plan out these dungeons and get through them fairly quickly. But if you just if you're wandering around and haven't been paying attention to where you've gone, then it can be kind of frustrating. Because see, here we can actually fall down to the floor below, and we'll see where this takes us. Let's see, it should put us, yeah, right up here. And this actually leads to a locked door, and I think this is actually going to take us right to the boss key already, or the big key. And it does. Sweet. Okay. So I'm actually doing a really good run of this dungeon, in my opinion, and I'm doing a lot better than I thought I would, because I thought I'd be wandering around and not knowing where I was going. But like I said, if I can just keep track of where I've gone and every path I've taken, then I can manage this dungeon. And that's how I play like every Zelda game. You know, I'll just kind of sweep through the dungeon and get what I can. And we're picking up all kinds of keys. And we'll see throughout this dungeon and the later dungeons of the game that you're not going to be using every key that you pick up. But unfortunately, the keys don't really stick with you. Like, you can't take them outside of the dungeon because they don't do anything, I believe. Okay, there's actually a room somewhere in this dungeon that I want to find that you can actually get a bunch of rupees in. And we do want to do that. That's giving us bombs. So, because I'm hoping to, sometime soon off screen, just go ahead and upgrade all the bombs and arrows, as I've said before. Let's see, can we see all the treasure chests? Yeah, unfortunately you can't do that in this game. You're not able to see all the treasure chests in the dungeon, which kind of sucks. You can only see like the rooms, which is okay to a point, I guess, but it does suck. And I'm not sure. Does this lead us to the dungeon item? Yes, it does. All right, we get the magic hammer. Okay, so we're definitely doing a really better job than what I thought I was gonna do. I hate when I try to say a sentence and I can't really think of what I'm saying. Or it's not really that. It's just I want to say 3 different things and I'm like, what should I say? But yeah, we're doing a really good run of this dungeon so far. We've already cleared out this side. Now let's go ahead and see where this door takes us. Because it's got to be fairly good. And it looks like it's going to be. Because there's the compass. Now we can see the chest. I'm like, what? That's why I couldn't see the chests. This door leads right here. I don't think I actually have to come here. But like I said, I do want to find that room that I can get all those rupees in. Okay, and that just kind of takes us back. I want to check out those steps that went down, because I think that actually leads to the room I was thinking of. And if it does, then great. So let's see. And it does. All right. So down here you can get a bunch of rupees. And what do we get here? More rupees? Oh, arrows. Okay. Nope. I don't know if there's any way to kill those anti-fairies, but I really wish I could. I don't know if magic powder works on them, but I don't really want to try it. But anti-fairies, isn't that the name of the bad fairies in The Fairly Odd Parents? I think it is, actually. It's kind of cool in a way. Okay, so we're up to like almost 700 rupees. And that I can dig. But there is gonna... I gotta look through the guide and see what all I'm gonna have to buy. And then kind of plan around that. Because I think there's I mean, I know we gotta upgrade the sword, and that costs money, and gotta buy something else later that's gonna cost 100 rupees. So I really think that's it, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, now I'm gonna check out what's on that side. Okay, now here's kind of a jerkish thing that can happen. We got these bumpy beetles back, and they First off, they put you on this platform with them, but we kind of took them out fairly well. Okay, and that's going to lead over to the left entrance, which we don't need to go over there. And let's see. Okay, so basically, there's two ways to get down here. You can go up there, and you can use a magic hammer on those mole-looking things, or you can just come down here. So I guess this is just a quicker way to get here, which is not really a bad thing. Because I mean, if you've just got the dungeon item, if you've cleared every other part up to this point, and you've already got yourself the dungeon item, then you can just come right over here instead of backtracking. But I could see why they would put that area there. So let's go ahead and use the magic hammer for the first time, and we can actually destroy these green guys in one hit now, opposed to like 2 or 3 hits from our sword. Okay, let's do this. There we go. Those guys used to be a pain in the butt to take down, but I mean, once you get the hang of defeating them, they're a piece of cake. So let's go ahead and hit that. Alright, that was pretty slick actually. I was hoping I could do that without going back in the door. Then we gotta hit that thing with an arrow. And we get some shakiness on the screen. Okay. That wall's got a pretty big distance to go, I guess. Okay, and then we can go downstairs, and I think we're just about to the boss, actually. But we do need the magic hammer to get here, so if you would have gotten to this point and tried to come here, you wouldn't have been able to, because you need the magic hammer to beat down those things. And as I mentioned earlier, the magic hammer will actually help us get to the rest of the Dark World. And then there's going to be more areas that we can't get through because we actually need another item. So the magic hammer is a really good item, not only for this dungeon and the boss, but also for exploring the rest of Hyrule. And I hate these turtle things, because they're pretty tough. But they give you a lot of rupees, apparently. Ah, die. Die, you turtle. Yeah. But I think you only see them in this dungeon. I know that for a fact. Which I am A-okay with. Okay, now let's see. I gotta push one of these blocks. There we go. And then that leads us back into this room. Oh, God. I didn't know those things were going to be here. Now you can actually use your magic hammer to defeat them as well, but I figured the sword does a better job. But here we are at the Helmasaur King, the boss of the first Dark World dungeon. Now there's a couple things you can do for this guy. You can keep hitting him in the hammer with hitting him in the face with your hammer, or you can actually use bombs on him. But I usually use bombs because it's a lot more tougher than your sword, or than the hammer. But I mean, the hammer does work a little better, I gotta say. Okay, but I got another fairy, so it's all good. I wonder if the good bee would be a help in this battle. Okay, we'll wait until we get his helmet off. But whoa. Yeah, this guy does 2 damage. Okay. Now, good bee. I got 2 fairies, actually, so I'm not worried. Come on, attack. Aw, you can't attack. Distract him. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down. Okay, good bee, come back to me. He's trying. Okay, come on. Maybe I can't get him back. Whoa. Okay. Oh, he got me. Alright, I still have another fairy, so it's all good. And I think you can still use the hammer on him, actually, and bombs. But I'm just going to go ahead and take him out with my sword. Oh, God. Thank you, B. You're slowing down the screen, which is actually helping me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Woo. That was going to be close. Okay, good. I was hoping I could get that B back. Alright. And we're on our second row of hearts, actually. Great. And we finished the first dungeon of the Dark World, and we got ourselves a crystal. What is this crystal? Let's find out. Hey, it's one of the maidens. Link, because of you, I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters. Thank you. This world used to be the Golden Land where the Triforce was hidden. But because Ganon, the boss of thieves, wished the world was transformed. I'm sure he's intending to conquer even our light world after building his power here. He is trying to open a larger gate between worlds near the castle using our powers. But the gate is not open completely yet. If we 7 maidens come together, we can break the barrier around Ganon's hiding place. I will tell you where the other girls are held. I believe you will destroy Ganon. I will return to my original form at that time. Do you understand? Yes. May the way of the hero lead you to the Triforce. Alright, so now we have our objective. We have to rescue all 7 of the maidens. And now if you look on our map, you can actually see where all these dungeons are and where everyone is. So, I think that's going to be it for this part. It's a kind of a longer part than usual, but that is okay. Because I said before that the dungeons are going to be longer parts, and that's the case for this part and the part that I did for the Tower of Hera. But I want to thank you guys for watching, and if you like this part, please feel free to subscribe and do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next part when we do some more stuff around the Dark World. So I will see you guys then.